Hi, welcome to SharePoint Unscripted. This is Kyle, and today I want to talk about a big annoyance I'm having with Microsoft support. And I thought I had it figured out, and it turns out I didn't. So let me walk you through it and what the problem is, and then I'll talk about why it's annoying and all that kind of stuff. So here we go. So part of search is setting up refiners and setting up, customizing search is about setting up refiners and properties and things like that. So if you want a refiner, if you want a new property to search by, things like that, or you want to do some queries against a property in the content search web part, you have to set up what's called a managed property. And so, for example, if I go to my user profiles and I want to create a new property, I click on new property and we'll give it a name. Let's call it height, because I want people to know how tall I am. And I'll just make it a string, and I'll take the default subtype, and I'm not going to put a description in. And so I'm going to change this to everyone because I want everybody to see how tall I am. And that works. User can override, yes. Because maybe I don't allow users to edit, yes. I don't want to get that from Active Directory because it's not in there. So they can go in, and if they want people to know just how tall they are, they can do that. All right, so it's indexing, and I want it to be visible in the profile page and the edit detail page so users can update it. I don't care about the newsfeed anymore because I'm using Yammer, and I don't need to map it to AD because I'm in the cloud, and you can't do it anyway. So now we can go down and click OK. The next thing I would do is go to User Properties and Manage User Profiles and find mine, and I'm going to edit it, because I need to have data in here, because I need the search to crawl it. And if it doesn't find any data, it doesn't index anything and it won't crawl. So all the way at the bottom, and I'm going to put 6 feet 2 inches. I was almost going to do 3, so you'd think I was an inch taller, but it doesn't matter. And I have that wrong, so that would be 6 inches 2 feet. So let's fix that, be accurate. Now I can save and close. So now what I'd have to do is wait like a half an hour or an hour for that to get crawled, because there's this continuous crawl going on where it incrementally, when it finds new stuff, it crawls it, indexes it, and then it's there, and that creates what's called a crawl property, which happens automatically. Goes out, finds it, it's a new property, so it creates a new crawl property for it. So the next thing I need to do after I wait, and I'm not going to wait for this, I'll just use a different one, is I would have to go in and manage my search schema, and I want to create a new managed property, and I'm going to call it height. I before E, except after C, and H apparently. Okay, so I want to make this searchable. That's very important, and queryable and retrievable. I don't care about multiple values. I'm only one height. And I can't refine by these or sort, so I would have to use one of the built-in refinable properties, like refinable string. And to find those, you just go into Manage Properties and search for the word refinable string, and it'll show you all those, and you map the crawl property there. Then you can use it and do refiners. I don't care about aliases, or, oh, one thing on aliases, don't ever set it to an alias for another that's in use for another property, because that will mess it up, and it will actually let you. I know I did one for title, and it screwed everything up. Our search results were crazy. Now I need to add a mapping, and this is where I'm mapping that crawl property. Okay, so here's all my people properties that I have, and I got some on the next page as well. So that's all my properties in here that have been crawled. These are crawl properties. So I'm just going to have this populated with like the cell phone field because it doesn't really matter at this point. This is just for demo. And once I do that, I click OK. Now that I've done that, I need to have the user profiles re-indexed. And if I was on the server version inside my network and I had access to it and I was the farm admin, I could do this myself. But because it's the cloud, I can't. So I need to put a ticket into Microsoft and have them do it. And this is where it gets really annoying because I have to put that ticket in and provide them with certain information so they know what to re-index. They don't do full crawls anymore. And they never do full crawls on anything because it takes up a lot of resources and stuff like that. So what happens is you have to put a ticket in and you have to give them some information. So when I started doing this, I would just send them a support ticket saying I need a full crawl. And then they would contact me and ask me for all these screenshots. And I didn't understand why. But then I learned that they don't do full crawls. They need to index specific things. So that's why they need screenshots, is because you have a frontline support tech that has to request something from one of the tier 2 or 3 or whatever people that have access to kick off the crawl. So it was really frustrating and all this back and forth. And finally I got frustrated and I kept asking why and pushing back, and I never got a good answer. Finally, I escalated to a supervisor and had a really long conversation. And that's when I learned they don't crawl everything. And because they don't do that, they only index specific things. So they need to know what they need to index. They also want to make sure that you set things up correctly before they do that. And so you have to give them screenshots. So everything I've done here, I'll give them a screenshot for, because this is what I was told by the supervisor. I said, what can I send you the first time so that it just happens without all this back and forth and pain and suffering and delays and things like that? And so we went through and took screenshots of everything that she needed, and I wrote down a list, and then she took that and got my crawl done, which was great. So the next time I had to do it, I'm like, this is awesome because I can just send them everything they need and it'll be fine. So here's what happened. I went through and I gave a screenshot of the user profile property I added. I gave them a screenshot that had a property in my profile that was populated, so it would get crawled. I gave them a screenshot of the managed property I set up and how that was configured. I gave them a screenshot of how the crawl property was set up. I gave them a screenshot of the property not showing up in the list when you do the search query. I gave them a screenshot of a search for that by that property. So a property search where you put the property name, colon, and the term you're looking for, and how that showed no results. And then I gave them a screenshot of a different property I added back when I had that other crawl done that was working. So pretty much everything involved, I provided all of that to them. And what happened was emails asking for more screenshots. And actually before that, it was an email saying that you should try this PowerShell script. And so we did, and I looked through it, and basically it sets every site collection to need a reindex, to be reindexed automatically. And so you don't have to put a ticket in for those. But that was all site collection stuff. And when I looked through the script, it was obviously targeting site collections, not the user profiles. So he gave us this script, even though we were talking about user profiles, and he's a first-line support engineer, so I don't expect that they know everything or are going to get everything right. So it's like, okay, well, that didn't work, and communicate it back. And then it was, well, I need another screenshot of the search not working. And then, so we gave him that, and it still didn't get done, wasn't approved. So I waited a day and I looked again, it wasn't there. So then I emailed them back, and went through a whole spiel about this should be obvious. We added a property, we mapped the crawl property, we had data in there, it's all set up, it's the user profiles, and we need that re-indexed, and here's all the screenshots and everything you need. So I sent this big email saying that we really need to get this done because it's like day 3 of having this request in, and we need to finish this because we're launching this new corporate directory that's using that property to filter out all of the people that have been terminated in the company where they still have accounts there and they're still showing up in user profiles. We also have another property that's filtering out where it's a service account, things like that. So we added this functionality to give us really good people search results so we could have a really nice corporate directory that we customized and made look all pretty and fun and wonderful. And we want to launch it. We're excited about it. And people will be excited when they see these changes and when the term stuff doesn't show up. So people won't be shocked that somebody that is no longer at the company is showing up in search results. So that's all great that we're doing that, but delay. So I sent that email out and then never got a response. And finally I did, saying that, sorry, we were late getting back to you and we'll escalate this again. And then nothing. The next day, I checked again to see if that property was there. I checked the support request to see if there was any notes. And yeah, granted, today's Thanksgiving, but not everywhere. And so I sent them another email today saying, I don't know what else we can do for you. And if this is happening to everybody every time this is done, and any organization that is really leveraging search and getting a lot out of SharePoint using every part of the buffalo has got to be going through this stuff. And the techs at Microsoft with all the back and forth are spending time. So there's like dollars. There's labor dollars leaking here. People are losing money over this stuff. So if you take in aggregate all the people that put these requests in and need stuff to happen and all the back and forth, it's probably a significant amount of money. Not enough to cover the national debt, and not enough to put a company under, but still, it's money that we don't have to be wasting. And I don't have to be on my YouTube channel putting videos out about it because I'm so frustrated. So we really want to solve this problem. I was really happy they have a script, because there's a button in sites and site collections where you can hit it and reindex. Well, the script is really nice, and I'll put a link in the description for doing all of them. So you can crawl everything, and that will get your site properties done, manage properties for sites. So this is really now around the user profile stuff. But I do this stuff all the time because there's a lot of valuable information that we want to display in those user profiles, and Azure AD only gives you really basic stuff. And so we have to create a separate sync tool that populates the profiles with all of the other properties we want to do. And it'd really be nice if we could configure that and Azure AD was set up that way, which is annoying that it's not, because now we have to have developers create these sync tools and have that job running overnight and things like that. So this is a big problem, and it's very frustrating, and it's causing pain and suffering and money to be spent on labor trying to figure this stuff out repeatedly. So I am really trying to get to the bottom of, what do you need? How can we avoid this situation? Is there any way possible that we could submit a request and just have it get done? I would like to see that. So Microsoft, if you're listening, please take action. Please put a button somewhere in the user profile to just request an index automatically. That would be really helpful. If not, please have maybe detailed instructions, a special request form, of whatever it's going to take for people to put the request in and get it done. Please, 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 please. This would be better. I'm trying to help you, and I'm trying to help the people of SharePoint. I'm not just bitching for the sake of bitching. I think this is significant. And so I thought it was video worthy, and I would tell people about it and even tell them about the script. So maybe that'll cut down on some calls and support tickets for you. So hopefully this video will get watched and things will happen. I'm also going to put something in user voice, and I will put a link for that. So people can upvote it. Maybe they'll do something about it there. And so I'm going to do everything I can to get this done from my end. And really, I only have so many avenues for making it happen. So this is my annoyance video, and I love Microsoft products. I really do. I've been a Microsoft person for years and years, and I really owe my career to Microsoft because I've supported their products and I've been a SharePoint consultant and things like that. So I'm not mad at Microsoft in general. I'm just mad at this one situation. And with all the cool stuff they're doing in the cloud and things like that, and how all this stuff is search driven now, and search works so well when you customize it, this really needs to happen. So I plead with you. I beg of you, Microsoft, please do something about it, please. Thank you. End of rant. Happy Thanksgiving. Goodbye. If you like this video, make sure to hit like down below, or subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Also, you can check out the description. I'll have links down there that pertain to this topic, to helpful videos and other sites and posts and whatnot. So I'm done now.